Hey kids, Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Now that's how I normally start a video, and there's been no other time previously where I've meant that more than now. We find ourselves in this situation with this virus, COVID-19. This is going to be a completely different video to one that I've ever done before. I hope you'll bear with me. Just as I give you a bit of my thoughts on this, because I'm no expert clearly, but with somebody with a lot of subscribers and people that watch my videos, I thought I should just explain to you a little bit about my thoughts and my approach and what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks with regards to my videos. First thing I would say though is we've got to please take this outbreak seriously. I was in Spain over the weekend. I got one of the last EasyJet flights out on Monday night. I was lucky to get back to Britain, but there was a stark contrast between the feeling in Spain, where they're under emergency law and crackdown or lockdown I should say. People aren't allowed to go out. There are police on the streets. They're even putting drones in the sky to find people that are out with no good reason. There's a massive contrast between what it felt like when I left Spain and what it felt like when I arrived here in the UK. Now obviously since then things have changed a bit in the UK, and Boris Johnson and his advisors have put in place some recommendations about not going to clubs, bars, that sort of thing, theatres. But I have to say to you, you know, I've been looking around my local area and there are still people in restaurants, there are still people in bars and clubs. What is going on? Number one, I think the government should probably have shut those down, notwithstanding the impact that would have on the people working at them. But please don't go to restaurants, don't go to cafes and act as if nothing's going on. It's not just about you catching the virus, it's about you could be a carrier and not know. It's about you passing it on to somebody else. If you know anybody who lives in, say, Italy, speak to them about the experiences they've had in the last few weeks. It really is scary. I don't want to make people panic here, but all I'm saying is treat this virus seriously. Do take the social distancing measures in hand. Keep away from other people if you can. If you feel you might have the virus, isolate yourself. Wash your hands regularly. You know the advice. By the way, on the washing your hands thing, I read an interesting article the other day that explained what the science was behind that, and it hadn't been explained to me before. Again, I'm not a scientist, but let me tell you what I learned about it. Basically is viruses are surrounded by the RNA, the genetic code of a virus is surrounded by something called lipids or on the outer casing of the virus. And if you use soap is made up of a lot of lipids, and apparently they have the effect of dissolving the outer casing on the virus. It effectively annihilates the virus. It's far more effective than using an antibacterial wipe. So if you can get to wash your hands, do that. It's exactly, you know, it's like when you use paint stripper on paint or terps on an oily mark. It absolutely destroys the virus. So that's why washing your hands is so important. So that's something I learned from that article anyway, so I'll just pass that on to you. The other thing I would say, something that other countries it seems haven't suffered from so much, certainly not in Italy, is panic buying. Why are people doing this? Stop doing that. Other people need this stuff. People, health workers, the elderly, they need this stuff more than those of us that are maybe slightly fitter and healthier. That said, just because you're fitter and healthier doesn't mean to say you're not going to catch this, but please stop the panic buying. Now I've seen a number of articles, things on Twitter and Facebook and so on, saying that, you know, go and ride your bike, it's a great way to self-isolate. You've got a helmet on, you're wearing gloves and so on, and I do agree with all that. It is a solitary thing. You're not going to put anyone else at risk if you do that, but do bear in mind, if you come off your bike, you're going to tie up the services of medics and people in the NHS that really are now needed to treat the victims of the COVID virus. So just bear that in mind. I'm not saying don't go and ride your bike. At the moment we're still allowed to do it, and I'm, you know, would be hypocritical because here I am, just been riding this new Tiger 900 behind me. But you know, this is part of my living. This is my job. So I will ride a little bit, but I'm going to try and cut it down as much as I possibly can, and I would urge you to do the same. It might be that we get to a lockdown period and you aren't allowed to just go out for a ride on your bike. So you know, do enjoy it, but just be careful and maybe cut down on the number of unnecessary rides, because there is that potential impact on NHS and emergency services. Again, not want to be morbid, but it's something to consider. While we're having this bit of a somber chat, I just want to send out my heartfelt wishes to my friends that are running motorcycle tour businesses. So that's people like Adrian at Tuscany Motorcycle Tours. My heart goes out to you and your family, mate. It must be terrible, not only having to look after your family and friends, but also, of course, your business hugely impacted, no doubt. Same Lyndon at Toro Adventures in Spain, Joy and Martin down at Canary Motorcycle Tours, and also Pete and Momo over in Slovenia, again, another country that's been badly impacted. And it's partly because of a message I got from Peter that I'm making this video, so thank you, Peter, for sending me that message. Peter is in Slovenia and has seen the impact there that this virus has had, and said, look, we don't think maybe you're taking it seriously enough in the UK, just tell people to take this more seriously. So that's partly why I'm making this video, so thank you, Peter, for your note, and yeah, best of luck to you guys as well. So I just wanted to say something about the videos I'll be producing in the next few weeks. As I've probably mentioned before, I make my videos somewhat in advance, so I've got about 2 months worth of videos already made in the can. I do intend to publish those. Of course, there's no reference in them to the virus because they were all made before that happened. So please don't think that's somehow crass that I'm not mentioning it, but I put them out there, number one, because they're there, and two, I think that, you know, as people are self-isolating, they probably need a bit of entertainment. So that's why I'm going to continue to publish them. But that's why they're, you know, I'm intending them as a bit of light relief from all this doom and gloom. So those are still going to go out. I hope you don't mind me doing that, but that's my plan. And then when they start to run out, I've got plenty of stuff that I can record in the garage, so I'll do that as well. So my videos are going to continue to be posted up. I do hope you get some sort of light relief from them. Alrighty, that's pretty much all I want to say, really. It was just I hope you don't think this is a ridiculous video. I just think we need to take this seriously. Don't congregate in groups, wash your hands, take this seriously, look after your loved ones, and think carefully about going for a ride on your bike. Support your neighbours, support your friends, and most of all, support the NHS as much as you can. All right, that's it for now. I look forward to speaking to you again soon.